If you could just do me a favor and type in the chat box and let me know that you can hear me, that would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate it. And then I'll get started straight away. Just to know you can hear me. Can you hear me? Someone could just type in the chat box, that would be awesome. And as soon as I hear from one person, I'll get started. Okay. Great, Rebecca can hear me. Awesome, thanks, Beck. Okay, so I'm going to quickly get started. Okay, so what I've done is I've put together a PowerPoint. It's a recap of convention, Tony Robbins, and also the meeting with David Mullen today. So there's a few things that I'll add on at the end from David Mullen. I got home and didn't have a lot of time to be able to put more into a PowerPoint, so I've got the notes here with me. I want to have this done in an hour because I know you guys really value, we all really value our time, so I've tried to keep it as, you know, succinct as possible. So I'll get started. Okay, I'll just check you can see my screen. Fantastic, you can. Okay, so the first new thing is convention was amazing this year. Now, who's coming to convention next year? Because for me, convention, then Tony Robbins, I had the biggest breakthrough and I learned so much. So I urge you, if you see this business as a priority and something that's serious, that convention really be on a must list for next year. I'm going to be buying my tickets now while they're on early bird prices. You can actually get, if you buy 10, you get one free. So maybe a group of us could get together and we can get an even further discounted price. So the first really exciting thing is we have an amazing new thing coming out called the Hub. Now the Hub is a back-end system. So who here would love to have their own website? So if someone wanted to know about USANA, they could say go to santo@usana.com and have what you get when you log on to usana.com. So you've got product information, you've got an event calendar. The Hub has all this, guys. You now get your own website. You can put in your own story. You've got an event calendar. It's complete personalization. So instead of sending people to usana.com, and I don't know about you, but I've had incidents where people have actually signed on at usana.com thinking that, you know, that means they're automatically working with us. Now we can send them straight to our own website. So an example is jadelbuhagiar at usana.com. So that is so exciting. Now, for a limited time, we have a fast start program. Now, guys, this is fantastic. If you sign up at 3BC, and I think it's for the next, I think it's until October. So if you sign up at 3BC, and you'll get a bonus 50 CVP, sorry, got tongue-tied, upon signing on that 3BC. Now, when their order comes out, their first order, guess what you get? Another 50 CVP bonus. Now that's massive. Then also, if you get a 1BC, you get a 25 CVP bonus, and the same thing happens when the order goes through. So you get another bonus 25 CVP. So that is absolutely fantastic. So guys, we need to be utilizing this fast start program because it's only for a limited time. This means extra points, and what does extra points mean? Extra money. So let's really utilize this. If you've got any questions, let me know, but it's also on usana.com. We've also got a new bar coming out. It's called a new Whole Foods bar. Now, USANA takes nutrition really seriously. What they've done is they actually built and got a whole new facility to make this bar. So it contains cherries, coconut, oil, dates, and it tastes amazing. We got to sample them while we're away. Now, the Hub and this new bar, they come out in October. So we're in September, guys, so it's only a matter of weeks away. Now, this is great for people that like real foods, whole foods. So real health fanatics. Some people may see our fudge bars and choc chip and look that they're processed, and yes, they are processed to an extent, but they're still formulated in a way that is completely nutritious. But these bars are taking it to a whole nother level. They're whole foods. So they're as raw and as natural as can possibly be. So Dr. Wentz is really moving in the direction of innovation. So we're so, so lucky. So I want to talk to you about a few light bulb moments that I had. So I got to see some absolutely amazing people. Now I'll expand the size of my screen so I can make sure you can read what I've written. Okay. I'm hoping you can read that. I'll just check and see if it's on the screen. Okay, great. Okay, so Jordan Kemper. Now, he's coming out in September. Guys, he's one of the highlight moments of convention for me. Jordan Kemper, when he presents, his energy and hype is out of this world. Now, I know if any of you were there with me or saw Jordan Kemper, you'd completely agree. Now, I literally think he could have been like selling pencils up there and people would have brought them, because he just uses his energy to attract people. And it's so important. I've done a couple of appointments this week since I finished at Tony Robbins, and what I really wanted to achieve was just energy. I'm like, I want to present the way Jordan does. I want to be energized, I want to be hyped, and I want people to see that, wow, anyone can do this. So when I spoke, I tried to implement things that he does, just using energy. And you won't believe the reaction I got. I didn't even get to finish the newspaper presentation, and people were like, well, how do I do this? It's like people are attracted to you, and everyone wants to feel energized, right? So Jordan just creates hype, and that's what people want, hype. So back to what I was saying. So he uses a newspaper presentation. You can learn that online. He has it on YouTube. I'm going to do one up, and my goal is to have it done by Tuesday for you, trying to implement all the things that he taught us at convention. So I've got some slides and things like that. So I'll implement it into a newspaper presentation and record it for you guys. Now, interesting fact about Jordan Kemper. Do you know, guys, he was actually going to quit. Yes, he was going to quit. He was like, no one wants this business. No one wants these products. They're too expensive. Could you imagine if Jordan Kemper quit? He would have been so close to success, because look at him now. He's a 2-star diamond. So he read a book by Robert Kiyosaki, and that's what made him realize he needed to commit to 5 years. And look what he did. He's now financially free. So he's complete change of mindset from saying no one wants these products, they're too expensive, I can't do this, it's not for me, this doesn't work, to realizing, well, hang on a minute, if I switch my focus to something which is positive, and other people have done it, so what makes me different? Like, I just can't imagine if he quit, because I look at the life he has now and I'm like, wow, look at what he missed out on, could have missed out on. No one wants to be like that, right? Another thing is people want what they don't have. So we're marketing ourselves. People want to join you. Yes, our business is great, but it's us that people are joining. So what do people want? People want happiness, joy, time freedom, health, and energy. How many people lack energy? So what do we need? We need excitement. We need stories. We need to be energized. And we need to detach ourselves from the outcome. Always assume a yes when you go to an appointment. Remember, it's where our focus is. We're always assuming a yes. Why? Because what we have is fantastic. So Jordan's vibe alone is enough to wow an audience. Now, I urge you to start inviting to his events in September. They're in a few weeks. We're going to pack this out. It's almost sold out. So if you have not got tickets, there are very few tickets left today. I was at corporate. So guys, make sure we get there. Make sure we are bringing lots of people along, because this is going to be one energized crowd. It is going to be a pumping event, so we have to be there. Another thing Jordan spoke about is a smile is 93% presenting is 93% nonverbal. So a smile is so, so, so important. Always be smiling. Now, all the top leaders said one thing. Tony Robbins said it. David Mullen said it today. Jordan Kemper and Brendan Burchard. All the top leaders said one thing. People are buying you. So it's all about you and how you present and how you market yourself. Now I'm going to move on to Brendan Burchard. So on average, like, if anyone doesn't know who this guy is, grab him on LinkedIn, Google him. This man is absolutely amazing. So he spoke to us about the 10 behaviors which humans have which make them feel alive. Now, what he wrote was absolutely crazy. I've got so many notes on it, and I just compacted it into a few points because obviously I don't want to be here all night and have you guys getting bored. But on average, an average American watches 4 hours of TV a day. Now, Australians follow quite closely behind Americans with their trends, so I'm sure we're not too far behind the 4-hour mark. Now, guys, if we add that up over an average lifespan, that is 13 years of their life, and that is wasted time. That is time that could be spent with family, creating memories, or living rather than, or you could be living rather than existing, I'm sorry. So he asked a question, did I live, did I love, did I matter? Now, this is something that really touched me, and I'm like, wow. Like, I look at my life now, I'm turning 28. I think, where did those 28 years go? Can you imagine how the next 25, 27, however you're older, how fast those years are going to go? Ask yourself, do I live, do I love, and do I matter? This business is so much more than a business. It's a legacy. I want people to remember us for creating something amazing. Look, I look at Cruz and I think, I don't want Cruz to remember me, you know, as mummy and daddy made a lot of money. I want him to look at us and be like, wow, my parents left a legacy. Like, what we built is something that will pass on to my children, his children. I want to make a difference in the world. So I ask you, how do you want to be remembered? So in the first hour of your day, what Brendan Burchard said was, the first hour of your day, if you're productive then, that means the rest of your day is going to be much more productive than normal. So after hearing that, I'm like, wow, that's something that I'm hearing quite across the board. Simon Chan saying about productivity and time management, and, you know, the first hours are important. So I made a commitment. Now, making a decision is something which you say you're going to do, but it doesn't mean you do it. Making a commitment, saying that there is no turning back, this is what I'm doing. It's a must. I made a commitment. I'm getting up at 6:30 every morning. That's correct, every morning, Sunday inclusive, because it's not healthy to break your routine. So I decided 6:30 every morning I'm going to be up. So that means if I get up an hour earlier, so I used to get up, say, 7:38, by the end of the year, I've actually gained an extra month in time than what I would have had if I continued getting up at 7:30. Pretty cool, huh? So in the first hour of your day, it's so important to be productive. So what I decided was to put together a schedule of how my day was going to look, and I'll come back to that in a minute. So I really want to touch on how important it is to be productive in that first moment when you get up. Jeremy Stansfield. What I took away from Jeremy Stansfield is something which may seem so little, but it has impacted my presentations phenomenally. Jeremy's use of words is crazy. Like, you know how we're like, oh yeah, we're a $1 billion company. He's like, we're a rocking $1 billion company. And I'm like, wow, that sounds so much better. You know, we have personalized nutrition, not, oh, we're a nutrition company. And another thing he said is bringing the sexy back of our amazing skincare. And I'm like, wow, our skincare is so cool. And these words make them sound how they actually are. These products are amazing, and it's the words we choose to use. So I really took away from him. Now, you can listen to Jeremy Stansfield's clips on YouTube. I highly recommend, if you want to duplicate the language he used, listen to a few of his clips, the way he speaks, his energy, but his words. It is his words that are grabbing. So far, I've taken away the way Jordan Kemper speaks and his energy, the meaning and inspiration of Brendan Burchard, because motivation is great. Hearing Jordan and Jeremy speak, you feel motivated. But inspiration is completely different. Inspiration is something that carries you through life. Motivation is something that gets you up when you're down. You know, so it's very important to not only be motivated, but inspired. So my action plan. So after attending convention, I decided I must. So that's a commitment. I must speak to 5 new people a day. So it's 5 new people. I must do 5 follow-ups a day. I must book an appointment every day. Now, that does not mean I have to book an appointment for today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. I might book 5 appointments for Saturday, but that means today cannot end without booking an appointment. without someone saying, yes, I want to see what you're doing, or yes, I'll come to your event, or yes, let's catch up and hear about this. There must be a yes. Now, the reason that my commitment level went up is I really discovered my why while I was away. Obviously, as you know, I just got married. I've been traveling for a while with Dave and Cruz. Now, in the whole time Dave and I have been together, and since we've had Cruz, we have never had that amount of time together where we have just been able to reflect and live and just like have quality time together. So while we were away, Dave and Cruz grew very attached. Now, Cruz has always been a mummy's boy, which, yes, I love, but it was amazing to sit back and observe the bond between father and son, which has never happened before because of the hours Dave works. Now, for any ladies on this call that want to have children or are having children, it really is something that tugged at my heartstrings, because I was like, okay, well, Dave is going to have to go back to work. Now, Dave went back to work on Tuesday, so yesterday. And Cruz woke up, and the first thing he said was, Dad, Dad. And he was looking around. He got out of bed and went and opened every door and looked for Dave, calling out for Dad. That broke my heart. I was like, wow. I made a decision and a commitment that has to change. This isn't about money for me. This is about life experience, time, and family, and creating memories. I don't want Dave to be working anymore. And for any of you that don't have children yet, I urge you to seriously think about this and set some serious goals and make a commitment, because anything is achievable, whether you have children or not. But it is something that I really now value more than ever, a bond with a child. And I want Dave to be around to see it, and have Cruz to grow up with both parents, because so many people grow up with one parent or no parents around due to financial circumstances. So I made a commitment that I need to step my game up tenfold, because at the moment it's all willy-nilly, and that's not going to get Dave out of work, and that's not going to give my son his dad back. So from 70 hours a week, 6 days a week, Sundays, if you're working that many hours, how do you think Dave feels? He's exhausted. So I decided that this is it. It's time to step up. So really, really think about your why. I've also got, before I forget, a video. It's Simon Sinek. So you can go on YouTube. So Simon Sinek, his last name is spelled S-I-N-E-K. So it's a YouTube clip. It's about finding your why. It's a TED Talk. It was recommended to me by David Mullen. I haven't watched it yet. I'll be watching it tonight. It's all about finding your why. So I highly recommend as some homework to watch that, and love to hear your feedback on it. So getting back to where we're at, you may get 20 no's, but if you keep presenting and you remain consistent, it's really about finding your aces. You will always eventually find an ace. There's 4 aces in a pack of 52 cards. Kings, queens, and jokers, they're fun too. Like, it's great to have a mix of people. And don't get me wrong, we need to have a mix in this business. We can't all be the same. But the aces are the one that will do 1,000 times what your others will do. Don't be disheartened if you sponsor 10 people and 10 people drop off. Because you know what? This business is not for everyone. Not everyone has the drive and the hunger to push through the hard times. But find an ace, and they'll deliver 1,000 times to what those people did. So, my daily planner. Simon Chan says, and I'm going to bring up my daily planner in a moment, you must have a give-up list. Now, I was someone that would watch a little bit of sneaky TV before going to sleep. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to unwind, blah, blah, blah. It was an excuse. It's a limiting belief, which is what I realized I don't actually need to watch TV to unwind. So hence why I made my daily schedule. You need to have a sacrifice list. Now, if you want to achieve and you want to be serious, you're going to have to give things up, because you know what? We've all got 24 hours in a day, and we can do amazing things with it if you plan it correctly. So I'm like, well, there goes my nightly TV. Not going to happen. Not going to watch it. I'd be watching like a bio channel, be like, yeah, I'm kind of learning. No. When I'm finished and I hop into bed, I'll read for a little bit, listen to some personal development, and go to sleep. That's it, done. Because I'm up at 6:30. Regardless of what time I go to bed, I'm up at 6:30. So give up list is so, so important. Now I'm going to pull my planner up. Now it's not finished, but you'll get the drift of it. So here's a day for me. So let's look at Monday and Tuesday. So Monday I get up in the morning at 6:30. I read a Bible passage and I look at watch a motivational clip. I then do 20 minutes of personal development. So I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad at the moment. I spend 5 minutes focusing on gratefulness. So what I'm grateful for. Because if you think about it, guys, if you wake up and the first thing you think of is something positive rather than something negative, in what direction do you think your day's gonna go in? And we all have things to be grateful for, all of us. So I'm pretty strict on my time. So then I've got like 5 minutes to quickly do my breakfast, which is a shake, so it's pretty easy to do. And then I move straight in from 7 to 7:30, prospecting, connecting with 5 new people, 5 follow-ups, and booking an appointment. Then from 8 to 8:30, I'm building a marketing strategy, so branding myself, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Now that's a great time bracket to do it in because people are on their way to work, people are on their train, people are scrolling through their phones. So that's why I picked that time to do it. Now that also includes looking for events where I can go and meet people, looking for different things where I can prospect people. So marketing covers a big bracket. But also if I haven't finished my prospecting, I cut into that time as well because prospecting and meeting with people is where you're going to make your money and where your business is going to grow. So many people rely on their team, not in a sense of like laziness, but we think, oh, if we just help our team duplicate, you know what, guys, if we keep moving, your team will keep moving. That's it. That's all there is to it. That is literally all there is to it. So then we've got, make my bed, get dressed, go for a walk. So exercise is important, have time to yourself. So on Monday, I go for my hour walk, come back, have a shower, do some washing, put the clothes away, and I'm doing that for an hour. Then I've got some free time. So that's when I'm going to go outside, take Cruz to the park. If I want to go to the shops, that's when I do it. Now at 2 o'clock, I know Cruz goes down for a nap. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do some presentation training, prospecting, inviting, and following up. So I'm going to do a little bit more. So if I haven't finished what I need to do in the morning, I'm going to do my prospecting, inviting, and following up. Otherwise, I'm going to work on presentation training. And that's for an hour. And then I go back to free time because we need to enjoy ourselves as well. Then I'm going to prep. I've got my dinner prep, my household duties, dinner, clean up, organize Cruz's food, clothes for the next day, put Cruz to bed, and then I've got training. And then I'm prepping things for the next day. So, and then on Tuesday, I've got Simon's calls on Tuesday. So guys, I'm going to finish this and post it up so you can have a look. I've got Simon's calls. So I've pretty much duplicated. The morning is very similar. But instead of where I'm going for my walk, I'm on Simon's calls, and I've got some free time. Free time is very important, guys, because you can't be working all the time. It's very important to have days off. Like Sunday for me is a family day. It's very rare that I'll do something on a Sunday because that's the one day we get together and you value your time. And also, it doesn't look appealing if every time people see you, you're running on a crazy schedule and, at least if you haven't organized like something like this and you're organized, you're going to be more productive. I realized in the morning I was losing a lot of time, and it sounds silly, in the shower. I'd be showering Cruz, I'd have a shower, and within no time at all, an hour would be gone. So today I set a timer. We had 11 minutes to be in and out that shower, both of us. And I was like, wow, instead of taking over an hour, Cruz and I were done, dressed, and ready within 20 minutes. I was like, okay, there's an extra 40 minutes for my day. Imagine I'm doing that for 6 days, how much time I get. So that's just an idea of my basic daily planner. And as I said, when I'm finished, I'll post it up for you guys. Now, the next thing I'm going to touch on is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was absolutely phenomenal. Anyone that hasn't seen Tony, considered seeing Tony, this guy really is what gave me a big kick up the behind. This guy made me realize that I was the only thing holding me back. No system, can't blame leadership, can't blame mentoring, can't blame anything. It's purely me. So this is the most amazing event I have ever attended in my life. I felt like I was a rock star at a rock concert. I did everything from laugh, cry, feel so grateful, to feel so angry at myself. Day one, I was like, wow, this is intense. Day two, I was like, how the hell am I going to implement all this in my life? Day three, I was like, I've got this, baby. This is going to happen. Day 4 was health day, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. Tony Robbins and I have the same belief system on these things. It was crazy. So anyone that ever considered seeing Tony Robbins, guys, you will not be disappointed. I recommend taking your partners though. It's great to grow together. You know, a strong relationship is, you know, built if you're doing things together. So yeah, Tony Robbins, definitely recommending to anyone. So what I want to do is I want you to think about a limiting belief. So you might be thinking, well, what's a limiting belief? It's something you tell yourself over and over and over again. So why you can't achieve this, or why something's not happening for you, might be in the business, might be in your life. So I'll give you an example. For me, it was, I'm a mum. I don't have a lot of time, and I can't really stick to a schedule because I have crews. Now, guys, that's crap. I have as much time as anyone else. It's only a belief system. It's only a belief that I've told myself. There is always someone in a worse off situation than I am that has done way more than me and achieved such greater successes than I have. So it's just an excuse. So other examples that I heard was, you know, I'm not worthy, I don't have time, I'm not as smart as them, I don't know as much, I haven't been in the business as long, you know, I haven't had great training, whatever. They're all limiting beliefs. They are what stops you from what you're achieving in life, not anything else. So the next thing is, I want you to think about this. Look at your life now. Now imagine you're in the same position in 10 years' time. So the way you feel today, the way your life is, whether it be your finances, your relationship, the amount of time you have, your family situation. Now imagine that that is the same in 10 years' time. Nothing has changed. A whole decade has gone by and everything is still the same. How does that make you feel? Now I just want you to close your eyes for a second. Now I want you to imagine that you're looking at yourself in the mirror. What would you say to yourself? So you've looked back over the past 10 years and realized not one thing has changed. Who have you lost? What have you lost in your life because nothing's changed? What have you missed out on? Now, how does this make you feel? I just want you to reflect on that for a moment. Now I want you to think about your dream life. Everything that makes you feel fulfilled. So it might be helping people. It might be a financial status. It might be spending time with family, so having that time freedom. It might be being on stage and influencing, you know, tens of thousands of people and having crowds of people inspired by you. Whatever it may be. Now I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself in 10 years' time living this life. So I want you to think about who's there with you, how you feel. Look at what you've achieved. How amazing do you feel? I know I was moving my toes in my shoes and bouncing up and down, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at what I've done. Now the only thing stopping you from achieving that is a couple of things. First thing is focus. Are you looking forward or are you looking backwards all the time? Are you dwelling on the past? Are you thinking about the present? Or are you looking forward to the future? What are you doing? You know, you're constantly dwelling on the bad things in your life. Are you constantly looking back at things that have happened and saying, you know, that's why I'm, you know, because of something that happened to me as a child, that's why, you know, that's why I'm not achieving this. Or I don't have as much money and as much time as what they do. You know, that's why I'm not achieving this. It's all about your focus. Tony Robbins pulled people up that were suffering depression. And you know what he established? Well, he already knew, but made us all realize it was where their focus lied. And you can switch that in a heartbeat. What is your favorite song? What is a song that when it comes on, you are like, yes, I love this song. And it just puts you in a mood and your focus switches. No, it's all about focus. So the only thing stopping you from where you want to be is the story you keep telling yourself, and that is called a limiting belief. Now I want you to think about that thing that holds you back in life. So the thing that you keep telling yourself, that one excuse that stands out the most. Now I want you to turn it around into a positive. So for me, I changed my limiting belief and I said I have all the time in the world because I have time freedom and I am an extremely organized mom. And I kept telling myself and telling myself and telling myself, I'm like, there's none of this rubbish that I don't have time and I'm not, I do need to work on my organization skills, but that's what I did because it's all about action, right? So we all have the ability to do this. We saw people on stage at convention that were deaf, could not communicate, could not talk because they were deaf. Everything was done in sign language. And guess what? He was a silver director in the business. There were people that had been abused and husbands threatening to kill them if they continued doing this business. So they would prospect in the toilet to make this business happen so they had an income. And guess what? They made it. People that grew up in the Bronx, people that were in the world's worst situations. And guess what? They made it. They did it. They achieved their successes. So guys, what is it that's stopping you? What is your reason that you can't do it and they can? Truth is, there isn't one. So I met with David Mullen today. A few of the team did. It was so great of him to give us his time. He's a very busy man, but he has a wealth of knowledge. So guys, if you haven't got him on Facebook, I urge you to add him. He's an amazing man. So he said some very interesting things to me today. I was like, wow. And I feel like for the past 2 weeks, I've just been having breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. So he asked, what is the difference between the people who walked on stage as Diamonds and Fortune 25, so the people that really got big recognition, did a lot of things, what is the one thing that separates them from you? Action. One thing, it's action. Constant action. They are out prospecting while we're procrastinating. They are out talking to people when we're trying to train a team and we're trying to get our team to move. They are moving, and guess what? So is their team. Simon Chan says when you're working out your numbers, so it's really important to work backwards. So say your goal is by next convention, you want to be a goal director. So say you need to have 200 people in your business. So you need to break it down week by week. So how many people are you going to need to see a week? How many people are you going to have to, how many appointments are you going to have to do, and how many people are you going to have to sign on every single week? So you have an action plan week by week, and then break it down day by day. So we don't need more training. We don't need anything at all. We have it all. We've just had heaps of training. We have trainings constantly, and we quite regularly go over quite similar things. So it's just the hardest challenges that create the biggest rewards, and we need to remember that. So people avoid doing it in many cases. In our case, we get paid to what? Talk to people, to prospect, to do appointments, to bring people into our business and move product. All we need to do is talk to people. Take massive action. So if you look at my timetable that I've done for myself, most of it is prospecting, inviting, following up. Very little training in there now. Why? Because that training is not the answer. Training is great, but at the moment, if you look at this like a seesaw, we've had a lot of training. But would you say education and action, they equal the same thing? Absolutely not. Look at people that have gone and studied for 5, 7, 10 years at uni. It doesn't mean they're automatically going to get a job. It's like us. You can have all the skills in the world, but unless you're willing to action them with take massive action, nothing's going to change. So I've covered action training. So in many cases we get paid to talk to people. So next slide. I want to talk about Bill and Jenny Wong. They are 10-star diamonds. Right? So David Mullen pulled out my reports today and looked over, how many people I'm sponsoring personally. Now guys, you want to stand out in USANA? It's great to have a moving team, but guess what they want to see? What you do. It's all about you. You, and only you. So they pulled out not what my team had done, what I had done. They looked at how many people I'd sponsored to be an associate, how many people I'd sponsored to be preferred customers, right? And it wasn't as flash as what I thought it was. So I'm like, okay. He's like, so this is how we track everyone. You want to stand out? You don't need to jump around and make a lot of noise. You need to lift your numbers on these reports, and we notice you. So last week in the Philippines, 1,400 people joined USANA in a week. In Australia, we had 200. So what's the difference between Australia and the Philippines? Now, some people might say the leaders, the training system, blah, blah, blah. Nope. What it actually is the leaders in Australia are spending more time trying to train their team, do systems, create things for the team, when all they really need to be doing is getting out there and sponsoring. Now, I'm not saying we don't need a system, but we need a basic system. You need to know your story. So, because let's face it, stories are what people connect with. So you need a brief story about why you're doing USANA and how the products make you feel. So you need a testimonial, right? You need to know how to invite. So invite and get people to events. If you're at an event, how many people are there that can help you close? And what are you going to do watching everyone? You've got to learn how to close. You're attending Health and Freedoms. What are you going to do? You're going to be taking notes. So therefore, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be learning how to present. Now, obviously, we help you with presentations in the beginning. And what are you doing? You're learning. Spa parties we do with you. What are you doing? You're learning. So we don't really need to be doing these mass amounts of training. They are great and training is good, but we need to be taking more action. Who here agrees with me? Action is what gets us paid, right? So that is the difference between the Australian and the Philippines. Now tell me, that is a massive difference. They're sponsoring an extra 1,200 people a week. That's a lot. So I guess the moral of the story is if people will do as you do. If people in your team want it, they will action it. Look at people there are so many big leaders in the company that actually had no mentor. They had no one. They had no one to run events for them. They had no one training them. They did it themselves. Why? Because they took action, because they wanted it, because they were hungry. They have a strong why. They're inspired, and they're just honestly focused. That's it. So another thing he said is action will define you. So things that I really want to implement and I'm going to be implementing for our team, which I really think will help us a lot. So it's going to be a Sunday call sheet. So I'm going to do up a sheet, and what that will be is it will be a sheet where I want to know what you want to achieve for the week. So I'm going to find out what your points are. Now, obviously, it needs to be done on a Sunday because that's when our points roll over, and you can also see them on your DLM and the hub. When the hub comes out, it's going to be so amazing for reports. So I'll be asking for that sheet to be returned by 5 p.m. on a Sunday. Reason being, that way I have time to go over, process everything, and we can get ready to hit the ground running on a Monday morning. Because what I want to be doing is working with you to make sure you reach your goals. So this is a business plan that we're going to be doing. Now, I will predominantly only be working with the people that do give me the sheets, because if you're serious in the business, you'll take action, right? Filling out a sheet, that's taking action, because you're telling me, you're committing to me what you're going to be doing for the week. So we're going to be working very closely. I've recently joined Simon Chan's Diamond Mastermind, and that's what some of the big leaders are doing. And now we don't need to reinvent the wheel. So if it's working for them, obviously it can work for us, right? Power hours. Now I know some of you were really excited about power hours. Jeremy Stansfield spoke about them, and something that really needs to be done to keep the team motivation levels high. So power hours, we're going to be implementing them. We need to look at numbers. So if you want a person to sign on a week, you'll need to contact 20 people, get 10 appointments, etc., etc. So we've got to break it down week by week, day by day. Now, a few other things I wanted to talk about aren't on the slide, but I've got them written down here. So I want everyone to have a think about what they want to achieve by next convention. So by next August, where do you want to be? Because you don't want to let another 12 months slip by without, being way a step closer to, the bigger dream. Now, it's all good and well to say you want to be diamond or whatever, but if you break it down realistically, say if your dream is to be a solo director, that's a good income, a solo director. What's that, $800-900 a week if you're a solo director? That's more than many people earn in a job. So realistic goals and knowing our numbers is so important. Anna Lozano and Matt Cronus did an amazing training on knowing your numbers. I've got some great photos and notes on that, so I'm happy to, work with people that really want to know their numbers. So day by day, we need to travel week by week. So they also spoke about emotions. So emotions interrupt respect. So it's not making comments about other people. Like, for example, David Mullen's example was, imagine if he stood in the room talking to us, and then said, "Oh, can you believe what Dave Wentz said at convention?" And spoke badly of him. Like, not only would he probably be fired, but how bad does that look upon a team? Now, there's respect for each other is so important, and he spoke very strongly about unity within the team. A lot of the little things that ever happen, they tend to be things that just hold people back. Another thing I really wanted to touch on was, sacrifice. Are you really ready to sacrifice? How bad do you really want this business? And let me have a look here. Okay. Another thing is so we spoke about different circumstances and different things that had happened, in our experience in the business, and it's really great thing to discuss together, what worked, what didn't work, and what can I do better. So also, another thing that was spoken about today was, is it helping or hindering the team? So you need to think about when you're doing something, or when you're doing something, or even your business, not just the team, is it helping or is it hindering? Now, and one final thing I wanted to talk about was something that David Mullen spoke about, and I wrote it down. It was 2 words, and it was so effective. That's why I want to find it. Oh, pin level. Second last thing I want to talk about. So it's all good to be a gold director or a silver director, or a builder for that matter. But ranks don't go to the bank. It's your income that you cash your checks for, right? So it's very important that we're not just monitoring ranks, we're monitoring what you're earning each week. It's very, very important. Like Bill and Jenny Wong sponsor 2 people a week and 4 PCs a week. That's massive. Imagine you did that growth constantly. So I guess I'm trying to think of what David said today. It was, is it interesting or is it, he used 2 words, and damn it, I wrote it down in all my notes and I can't remember what it was. So he used words like, is it, pretty much he was saying, is it interesting or, is it a benefit, pretty much. So that's what we need to look at. There are things that are interesting and there are things that are going to benefit. And you really need to distinguish between the two, because interesting isn't going to make you money. Interesting isn't going to make you business. Is it interesting or is it important? That's the word. Whew. Is it interesting or is it important? Important things will build your business. Important things will change your life. Interesting things, well, that's entertainment. So that's what I really wanted to talk to you about tonight. That was just a really brief recap of everything. There are heaps more, but as I said, it's all about action, guys. I'll be getting those sheets out to you before Sunday, so you can get them back to me on Sunday before 5 o'clock. That would be amazing. I would love to hear from you guys about what your goals are, where you want to be, because I really want to see us all go there and go there together. Now, I really want to help you guys get to where you are and best serve you, but it takes action, and that action is on your behalf. So I really look forward to the future. There are massive things ahead. The hub, the new product, this new fast track. Guys, utilize this. It's for 1 month only. So really utilize the fast start. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for jumping on the call, and I'm going to post the recording up as soon as it loads. So probably in about an hour. Have a good night, everyone. Oh, Beck, I'm really glad Brenda Burchard's quotes are bringing back a whole heap of motivation. That's awesome. See you all soon. Bye.